No to National Assembly, yes to Provincial Legislatures. MK Party confirms members will be sworn in. The Umkhonto weSizwe MK Party will not send its 58 MPs to the National Assembly to be sworn in on Friday, but will send some of its members to be sworn in at the Provincial Legislatures. This was confirmed by the party in a statement on Thursday night after making it clear that its members will not attend any swearing-in ceremony. The MK party confirms that the members of the provincial legislatures will be sworn in during their respective sittings tomorrow, the June 14, 2024, the statement read. This is at the first sitting of the provincial legislature is set to take place on Friday in most of the provinces. In the same day, the first sitting of parliaments would also take place on Friday. In an interview with ENCA, MK Party spokesperson Tlamulo Ndlela said they would not send their MPs to the National Assembly as they were still protesting the Electoral Commission of South Africa's IEC election results and would not continue to pursue it. However, in a statement, the party said, "Our commitment to challenging election rigging and fraud remains firm." The MK party is unwavering in its pursuit to ensure that every vote reflects the true will of the people, it said. We continue to reject the hasty declaration of the 29th May 2024 elections results, advocating for a fair and just process that respects the democratic rights of all citizens. Parliament to be seated with or without the Umkhonto weSizwe party on Friday. With a 1 day left before 7th Democratic Parliament is sworn in and the President elected, analysts believe that the Umkhonto weSizwe party's MKP boycott of the first sitting of the National Assembly won't halt the business of the day. The MKP, which earlier this week indicated that its 58 elected members would not be attending the first sitting, in a dispute over, as yet, unproved claims that the national election was rigged. The party has also called for the Electoral Commission of South Africa IEC to recount ballots. The party, led by former President Jacob Zuma, has also filed court papers with the Constitutional Court in a bid to block tomorrow's sittings. In its legal papers, the MKP alleged that the IEC was wrong to call the results of the national elections free and fair. It also states that holding Friday's parliamentary sitting would be unconstitutional and that there would not be enough members present. In it also demanding that the President call another election within 90 days. We wish to reiterate that our position remains unchanged and that we will attend Parliament proceedings only based on the outcomes of the court proceedings. While we deeply respect the will of the people who elected us to serve in Parliament in order to change the current neoliberal constitution and ensure expropriation of land without compensation, among others, we believe that our votes, and therefore the voices of all our voters, are incomplete, the party said. Attending the first sitting of Parliament without all our votes and voices being counted will betray our commitment to unity and democratic values where every voice and wish deserves to be heard, it said. Political analyst and lecturer at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, Siyabonga Ntombela, said the MKP's no-show at the first sitting won't prevent Parliament from electing the President. My prediction is that the MKP will be in the vicinity of Parliament but will not be attending as MPs. The House will have a quorum of more than 133 MPs. The Speaker will be elected and the President, but there will be a commotion after that, especially if Cyril Ramaphosa is re-elected. The MKP will not be party to the election of their arch-enemy, said Ntombela. Lawson Naidu, Executive Secretary of the Council for the Advancement of the South African Constitution, commented on MKP court application. He said there was no enough substance in the party's document to warrant the interventions of the Constitutional Court. The Constitutional is very clear. Section 46 of the Constitution speaks to the electoral system that we have in South Africa, and the system must accommodate a minimum of 350 and a maximum of 400 members, Naidu pointed out. If one looks at Section 53, it is very clear as it lays out what the quorum of the National Assembly is. In the case of the election of the Speaker, President, and Deputy Speaker, a basic quorum of 1/3 of the members of the National Assembly, which is 133, needs to be present. If the majority of those 133 members vote for a presidential candidate, we will then have to have a president. The ANC has 159 seats in the Assembly, and if those members show up, we will then have a quorum, he said. Meanwhile, MKP founder Jabulani Khumalo dealt another court blow. Fired MK Party founder Jabulani Khumalo has suffered another legal defeat as his second attempt to be included in the party's parliamentary list has been dismissed. This comes after the Western Cape High Court on Thursday dismisses Khumalo's application in the interdict Parliament's decision to remove him as an MKP candidate to be sworn in as VP. This comes after the Western Cape High Court on Thursday dismissed Khumalo's application to interdict Parliament's decision to remove him as an MKP candidate to be sworn in as an VIP. Khumalo sought inclusion on the parliamentary list and hoped that court would rule in his favor. This occurred just a day before the first parliamentary sitting, scheduled to take place on Friday in Cape Town, Western Cape. Khumalo filed the application on Tuesday after Parliament confirmed that he would not be on the list as he was not a recognized member of the MKP. This is despite him being number 1 on MKP's list of Parliament. Khumalo has recently lost another legal battle over his being on the leadership team. On Wednesday, the Electoral Court rejected his bid to be a party leader. It dismissed his case with costs following his attempt to have the Electoral Commission of South Africa's IEC record of former President Jacob Zuma's MKP leader invalidated and set aside. In a document that IOL has seen, the court said, for all the above reasons, the application also constitutes an above of this court's process and a waste of its judicial economy and the opposing respondents' resources. They have incurred legal costs opposing the application that should not have seen the light of day. It would be unfair to leave the respondents out of pocket under these circumstances. The court said this was to send a message to the public for making false statements under oath and that abuse of the court's process would not be countenanced. Meanwhile, the MKP recognized the leadership say would lay perjury charges against Khumalo for lying under oath. To that end, MK Party leadership has already approached its legal team with the intention to open a criminal case against Jabulani Khumalo for lying under oath. Concurrent with the court, we wish to send a message that indeed making false statements under the oath and abuse of court process must be addressed sharply, said in the statement. And that's it from INJIBS Network. Stay tuned to our celebrity and gossip news.